Okay guys, we're back today. Y'all have any questions about the stuff we've covered? Nothing?
I don't know, it's just because it's a lot of stuff.
Guys, it's getting thick now, and just wait, it's gonna get even thicker, okay? So when we start really putting in some of the block files, like the title pages, appearance pages, witness pages, certificate pages, and we're gonna start doing speaker identifications, we're gonna start doing a bunch of stuff, okay? So for those of you that are caught up, you better get caught up quick, because you're gonna get behind, and I mean, there's not gonna be any excuses for stuff. For those of you that are out of town that are watching videos, I'm still trying to figure out how to get you the block files, but I mean, if not, we're gonna have to figure something out, because the final contains the block files. It contains all of this stuff, so you're gonna need to get caught up to speed. I don't know what to tell you, other than maybe come into class. I think, and I'm not sure, I need to check, but I'm almost certain that the last week of school is...
How much is the content inside the USB that you have?
It's like the 4th, December 4th.
Oh.
I think so.
Wow.
Y'all might want to check your whatever, but that last week, and we're going to do that final on that Monday. Yeah. So, those of you that are doing it online, you need to get with me, because you're going to need to be here for that final. Okay? You don't turn in the final. I don't care if you've watched every video. Unless you've made arrangements with me, you don't pass this class. Okay? You have to be here for that final, or make an arrangement with me somehow, some way. Okay? Any questions about anything we've covered? You doing all right? With no problems?
Yeah, I'm doing okay.
Okay. We figured out some stuff the other day with Katie's thing on numbers, that if we were doing it, and she kind of does like ordinals the way that I do it, which is 1E, 2E, 3E. So if you do it with the letter or something like that, and you do it with the number bar, you need to get with me, because there's something you need to do in your user settings. If you just do first, FIRS, well, like when they say May 1st, I don't know how you do it. How do you do it? For those of you that write it out, how do you do it? If you don't use the number bar, how do you do it?
Just write out each number.
FIRS what? With an asterisk? How do you write first floor? Same?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and that's okay. That's okay. But you're going to have to be able to go through, and in the Auto Magic, which is over here on the side, it's going to give you the option to change it. So you know that on a test, you're going to miss that. If you put May 1st and it's FIRST, you know that, right? You're going to miss it. That's not right. So you're going to miss, it's going to be a mistake. So you need to be able to decipher that, okay? Or, you know, put it into a conflict, okay, where you choose the 1 or 2, and I'm going to show you how to do that too, okay? But if you do the numbers, I mean, does anybody else do the numbers?
Just
Nobody else uses the number bar?
We're starting.
I mean, we've used the number bar, but yeah.
Y'all are just starting to use the number bar this week?
No, we started the number bar like 3 weeks ago, but now we're going to start with ordinal numbers
Yeah.
and punctuation.
Chapter
and
23.
Cardinal numbers.
How are they telling you how to do it?
I'm just looking at it right now.
It's up and coming. It's not here yet.
You better figure it out, because that up and coming is going to be on the up and coming exam. So you better figure out some way that you're going to do it, okay?
Okay.
All right? And I'll help you guys. If you keep me in the loop, I'll help you. I guarantee if it comes up to exam day and it's like, I don't remember, we didn't talk about that.
It's good to know that we're supposed to know something.
Not gonna cut it. Not gonna cut it. You keep me in the loop. You talk to me ahead of time. Hey, this is what we're doing. Can you show me? Can we figure something out? I'll help you. Not the day of, or the Sunday before the Monday of. No, not gonna work. Okay. Keep me apprised of what you guys are doing, and I'll help you. Okay. So once y'all get to that lesson and you figure out how you're gonna do it, then let me know. okay? Today we're going to talk about macro commands, okay?
Auto replacements are great for speed typing. Macros are even more powerful because they roll multiple steps into one command.
25.
Here the witness was still talking when the questioner interrupted. I've created a butting in macro for you. You can use it anywhere in this paragraph to put in the dashes that will indicate interrupted speech. To create a macro command, start by analyzing the editing steps you want to automate. Here are the steps that I want in this macro command. I'll go to the end of the line and then move up 2 paragraphs and then move 1 word to the left and then give the command to put a dash at the end of the sentence, and then move down 2 paragraphs and press the hyphen key to insert a dash. Settings, Edit, Macros. Let's create a new macro and add commands. The commands are listed in menu order. My first step will be to go to the end of the line. And now I'll add the command to go up a paragraph. I'll do this twice. Now I'll move 1 word to the left and put a dash at the end of the sentence. Now I'll move down a paragraph twice and put a hyphen in, which will insert the dash at the beginning of the sentence. I'll name the macro and give it a speed key. This will work only when hyperkeys are on, and it will be Shift B or capital B. Of course, I could also create a dictionary entry, which is what I would do if a macro is to be used for editing from the steno keyboard, but this is the subject of a separate presentation. So now I'm ready to leave the user settings.
Guys, I didn't stop there because there's already a command to do that. The butting in, which is what? For the butting in the way that he did it, where it's at the end of the sentence, beginning of the sentence. What was it? Shift B. Remember? We did it last week. We did it last week. Okay, where I showed you at the end of the sentence, beginning of the sentence. Let me see if there's one. There's not. So you're in luck. So I'm going to show you kind of right here. I'm just going to make up some stuff here and do a question. Who is the, and then answer of the witness. Okay, pay attention, because we talked about this last week. So let's pretend it doesn't really matter if it's a question or an answer, okay? It's when somebody butts in. Somebody's talking, somebody else butts in, and then they finish their thought. Remember? Remember we talked about this? Okay? And look what it is. You can be anywhere in that sentence. Actually, you know what? You have to be down here. You have to be in the sentence before, the answer or question before where you want it on the last question or answer. Okay? Remember? And look what it does. Shift, B. See what it just did? Mm-hmm. So it puts the dashes there and the dashes there to make it a run-on sentence, like they're completing a sentence.
An interruption.
Okay? So that's why I didn't stop on that thing. That's whole convoluted thing of you don't need to know all of that, okay? That's a lot for you guys to know. Okay, it's way too much for you guys to know. You don't need to do that. I'm going to teach you some other simple macros that are really good. So you should have your pad and pencil ready. Right here, guys. The first one, Alt 1. And you can do it right now. So if you're right here, Put your cursor right here on place. Everybody there?
Yes.
Yes? Do Alt 1. See what it just did? You do Alt 1. Did it do it? You have to be in hyper keys. Let me see if it does. It's probably do it here. Well, take my word for it, it does work. I don't know if it's because we're in this lesson or what, that it's not working, but it works. Let me see if I can bring up.
It works if when you go to like your actual real time. I just did it.
You shouldn't have to be in there. You shouldn't have to be in your real time. I don't know why it's not. I don't know what it's doing. I really don't. I don't know why it's doing this. What the heck is going on, but and what I'm gonna get out completely. Okay, there it goes. I don't know why it's doing it. I had to get out of the lesson and get into my own file for it to work. But if you do Alt 1, which is what I'm doing, you see how it puts okay? So like at the beginning of the sentence, a lot of times attorneys are real bad at saying, okay, and when you went to the store, well, what were you driving? All right, and when you went to the blah, 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 what did you do? Okay, and when you, so it's always okay, all right. So Alt 1 is okay, Alt 2 is all right. Got it? Alt 3, look at this. Alt 3 is comma, you know, comma. Very good. You're going to hear that a lot because they're going to say, well, he went to the store, you know, and then he you know, got some items off the shelf, you know is like a thought. It's not you know that she went to the store is totally different. You know that she went to the store is totally different than you know she went to the store. You see how you can punctuate it different and it takes on a totally different meaning? We are paying attention there? Y'all awake? You didn't get it? Kevin?
No, but I know what you're saying though.
Okay. It can take on a totally different meaning, okay? So this is the one where they say you know. He went to the store, you know. You know. That's what it is. Comma, you know, comma. So it already puts it in there. So you can be right here where there's a period and it starts with you know, and you can put it and it'll put the comma in there for you already. Okay? Yeah.
How do you know that you need that? Or you just have like a slap stroke, you just didn't get it all the way or something?
These are what's called macros. So these are things you're going to hear all the time. So it's Alt 1, Alt 2, Alt 3.
Okay. But I mean, like I guess I'm saying, like, you should be typing those anyways, right?
Well, I mean, just in case you miss it.
Okay.
This is an easy way to do it. So this is something that's going to come up all the time. Okay, all right, you know is going to come up all the time. You're going to hear it every day. If you're taking stuff, you're going to hear it every time you take something. Okay? So it's just a shortcut is what it is. So if you dropped it, you were behind and you dropped the okay and you need to put it in there, you don't have to go in there, push in, OKAY period, space, cap next. You don't have to do all that. It'll do it for you. It's just a shortcut of doing it.
That was basically it. Like, I was wondering when you would actually use that.
Yeah.
If you dropped.
If you dropped. Yeah. Okay? This is another one. This is Alt 4. Uh-huh. And you're going to hear that a lot. Did he go? Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes when they talk like that, I usually, I didn't hear what you said. Can you speak up? Oh, yes, yes. You know, they get lazy. You know, or sometimes they don't want to answer. Like, mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm. Yeah, mm-hmm. That's the affirmative. Uh-huh. Y'all know that? Y'all know it's the affirmative?
Yeah,
You didn't before?
Mm-mm.
You didn't before?
No. I mean,
Awesome.
Kind of common sense a little bit, but I wouldn't have known how to like punctuate it, I guess.
Yeah. And then Alt 5 is dashes. Let's see what Alt 6.
Is there a brief for
Is there a brief or uh-huh?
Yeah.
I do HM asterisk. There's a way that I do the affirmative. And the way that I do the negative is M asterisk M. Mm-mm. And they go, mm-mm. Did you do it? Mm-mm. Got it? Yes?
Yes.
No?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Little guy might have to get some earmuffs here in a little bit. Y'all start speaking up or something.
You're scary.
He's
You're
into his
scaring me.
Skittles.
Okay. Oh, my man's in a totally different world right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's in Narnia. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the ones you're going to use the most. Okay? Got it?
Got it.
All right.
Let's see how to use auto replacements for error prevention and speed typing. Settings, programming, auto replacements. Eclipse installs a few hundred auto replacements to prevent typing errors. I'll use the modify button to see what this first one means. So if I accidentally type the word can as ACN, Eclipse automatically replaces it with CAN. You can remove items from this list or add without limit. Auto replacements are great for speed typing, and the steno that's already in your head makes great shortcuts. After typing the shortcut, pressing the spacebar or enter key automatically triggers the auto replacement. If you notice you've just mistyped a word and the system did not correct it for you automatically, just go ahead and type in the correction and then space over. Then pressing Shift-Alt-A will automatically correct the error and create an auto replacement for you. This makes it very easy to teach Eclipse which words need to be automatically replaced.
Okay, I didn't automatically stop because we've already gone over this, so I'm not gonna beat this horse, okay? This is stuff we've already gone over. We've watched this video probably twice at least. It's probably the third time already on auto replacements. I agree, bud. So I'm not gonna spend a whole lot of time on it. Y'all know it?
Yes.
Awkward silence, I'm gonna take as yes. Guys, I promise, if you don't speak up, I'm gonna assume that you know what I'm talking about, okay? So when I ask you, I'm gonna wait for a second, you don't say anything, then I'm gonna assume that you know. If you don't know, don't be scared to say something, okay? Because if you don't know, somebody else probably doesn't know either, and they're scared to say something too. But if you don't say anything, then I'm gonna assume that you just know. So it may be on the exam, and it may not. But if you wanna take that chance, that it probably isn't,
But how
alrighty.
often are you gonna use those?
What's that?
Like how often, like?
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. And it'll come up. It'll come up, but it's not that big of a deal. The Auto Magic can fix it.
Can you just use the auto?
You can. But if you want to do it to where it's like, every time I type she, I always do HSE. Okay, well if you've done it once, or twice, or 3 times, you seeing the pattern here? So you probably do it. So all it's gonna do is correct it. If not, when you're typing in Eclipse, it's just gonna put the little red line under it saying, I don't know what HSE is, you know? You need to capitalize it as an acronym, is it something else, does it stand for something? I don't know, do we need to put periods in between it? So that's what's gonna ask you over here. Do you need caps? Do you need it hyphenated? Do you need it, you know, okay? So it's not a huge deal, but it's stuff that you're gonna do all the time, all right? And it may be, okay? I'm kind of skipping over some of this stuff on the macros, and it's kind of going over what they were saying about really getting into it. Put the end command. Guys, it's way more than what you need to know right now, okay? I'm going to teach you the basics of how to get a transcript out. Not everything there is to know about Eclipse, okay? I'm going to teach you, and this is what we've done, okay? This is the stuff that I think you need to know. The other stuff is a little more advanced.
Let's see how to take advantage of the Total Eclipse Real-Time Editing Kit. When you install Total Eclipse, you're automatically given a large number of macros. Here's a macro group that's used by Hyperkey B. The macros that begin with CC are used by closed captioners. If a macro's name ends with HYP, it's used by Hyperkeys. And if it ends with RT, it's part of the real-time editing kit. The best way to master the skills of the real-time editing kit is through the ePower video tutorial entitled Keyboard Magic. The tutorial creates a separate user area where you can safely experiment without...
I'm going to save you the time and the agony of listening to the rest of that. Because once again, it's way above. So now they're talking about real-time, like real-time writers, and they're talking about like cart people. So I mean, this is stuff that's just a little bit above what we're doing here. So we're going to skip over that. So any questions about macro commands? Okay, meta dictionary.
How does Total Eclipse know that mile is a measurement, but Mr. is a title? It checks the meta dictionary. Let's see. User settings, programming, meta dictionary. When you install Total Eclipse on your computer, a default meta dictionary is created for you automatically. As a new user, you shouldn't play with it right away. But with a little help from technical support, you can customize it to meet your needs. I'll put my cursor on the line for April and use the Modify button to see what it means. In your standard dictionary, you would just have an entry for April, but the meta dictionary is hiding this additional information for the translator. That is, when Eclipse translates the entry for April, it first puts in the plain text, then it gives a command to the number conversion system.
Guys, I think I'm going to confuse you by doing this too. We're not going to go over that meta dictionary either.
I messed with that today, actually.
I'm sorry?
I messed with that today, actually.
With the meta dictionary?
Yeah, so I called tech support and because everything that they fixed yesterday when
Yeah.
I got home, it was back to not working. But then, so they fixed it for me or whatever, but I had a number question. Because when I would type like December 8, 2014 or whatever, it would like combine the numbers or it just wouldn't put it right. So he had me go in the meta dictionary and like change something, but he told me what to do. So.
Was it crazy?
No, it was just, it was like a letter N, you just said delete it and put P something, and then it worked, so. I was kind of scared to do it, but it worked.
No, I mean, if you call tech support, I mean, these guys will really know. Well, sometimes.
Yeah, but
We got a guy the other night that, we figured it out, but holy cow, okay? So, you know, if not, then they'll be able to get you back, okay? Like most of the stuff that they're talking about here is already in your dictionary, so we don't need to go in there and mess with it. So unless you call tech support and they take you into meta dictionary, I wouldn't mess with it too much.
Mommy, just stop so they can go when they said party because they're having a Halloween party.
I really don't think that they're gonna tell us anything that we don't know here on the mouse and key commands, but
Oh, I like that title.
Let's see how you can use either the mouse or keyboard commands for just about any function within Total Eclipse. The left mouse. Let's see how you can use either the mouse or keyboard commands for just about any function within Total Eclipse. The left mouse button is typically used to click or select, while the right mouse button opens a context menu. You may be clicking on a toolbar icon, or a menu column, or simply clicking to position your cursor. Right-clicking will open a context menu, which will vary according to where your cursor is placed. However, there's no need to constantly reach for the mouse. For instance, you can press F10 or just press the Alt key and release to access the menu bar, H for help. Every Eclipse menu or dialog has hotkeys as an alternative to using the mouse, but if there's any place where you can type in a dialog, then Windows requires you to press the Alt key in order to use the underlined letter as a hotkey. Hotkeys are underlined letters on menus or dialogues, but Eclipse also encourages you to use speed keys, which bypass the menus entirely. For instance, Alt-T to translate and Shift-Alt-T to stop translation. And finally, there are Eclipse hyperkeys, which are even more efficient than using a mouse or speed keys. But this is the subject of a separate presentation.
no big deal. Should be stuff y'all already know. The configurations is the same, we've seen it. You know, it's where you put the 1, 2, 3, and it puts the, remember?
Mm-hmm.
So you can come up here to Windows on the view toggle and remember?
Mm-hmm.
And it shows you the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so however many toolbars you want. Remember, keep it simple. We don't need to go in there and watch that video again. How do you get in the field again? E. Very good.
What most Eclipse users don't realize is that many Windows Explorer functions are available whenever you see a listing of file names. So if I highlight this file's name, I can simply press the Delete key to send this file to the recycle bin. I could also highlight a file's name and either right-click or press Shift F10 to open a context menu. You notice I can rename the file from here, delete it, copy it, cut it, perhaps paste it, and there's also the option to send to the desktop to create a shortcut, which will make it easy to reopen a file that won't be transcribed in a single sitting.
No big deal there either. Any questions about that?
Uh-uh.
Super sticky and spiders can catch flies if they find webs and can get stuck, so you can eat them. Yeah, their webs are super
Guys,
sticky.
y'all should be already using this. Are y'all not? Is anyone not using this? Exactly.
I use the arrow.
Huh? Guys, the whole point of the hyperkeys is to not take your hand off the keys.
Why can't you just use the arrow?
Well, I mean, you can. I mean, if you want to. This, taking the software class is to make it easier for you guys. So it gives you options on things to do, okay? If you find it easier to do the arrows, then do the arrows, okay? You do what you want, okay? I'm only here to teach you different ways to make it easier. If you think that it's easier to do the arrows, help yourself, okay? But when you get out, but when you get out and you come back and you say, well, we never learned how to use IJKL, for God's sakes, you better hope that doesn't get back to me. So I'm going to show them this video. Okay? Okay, control page up, control page down, beginning of the document, end of the document. So you can get there quick. How else can you get to a page?
Shift G, Control D.
Huh?
Control P.
Oh, very good, very good. I know you were probably looking at your notes.
Yeah. But I know because I used it too.
Oh, did you?
You know when I use this is when I'm editing our text that we have to turn in
Yeah.
by Sunday. When
Yeah.
I'm editing, I
Do
just
it right
take
now.
this
Do
out.
Alt G, and maybe that'll stick. Where's your?
Busted guy, I told you.
God almighty. Would you send it to Asia? Get that thing back already. Alt G is go to page, okay? So I'm gonna do it right here. That's what it is, go to. So you can get to the beginning of the document. If you wanna go to the end of the document and you don't know how many pages it is, but you know it's not 999, then just do 999 and it'll take you to the end of the document, okay? Or control page up, control page down. So I know that we talked about this too earlier in the thing about marking a spot. You remember how to mark it?
M. So you hit an M and then you,
No.
no?
It's X. It's Shift X. So like X marks the spot, remember?
Yeah, I was close.
But it's not just X, because little x does something totally different. It's Shift X, marks the spot. So look, pay attention. Put attention. So say I'm right here, okay? I do Shift X, look at the screen. See what it just did? It did something. What it did was it marked it. Now I'm gonna go to Alt G, 999. End of the page, okay, it's 11 pages. Oh, okay, all right. So how do I get back? How do I find my way back?
Shift F.
Find,
Alt F. Shift F.
find,
Shift V. Control
Shift
A.
V, Alt V.
V, Shift V. I don't know why it's V. Venture back, I don't know. I don't know why it's V, but it's not, yeah. Guys, I'm trying to help you here. Did y'all think that I was speaking in Russian or find my way back? I don't know why it's V, but it is. So X, Shift X, X marks the spot. Remember? X marks the spot. Shift X. Shift V takes you back. Okay?
Takes you back.
I have a question.
You in the back.
For hyperkey T, T where it says scan to trouble,
Yeah.
what does that like entail? Like, if it's like, if it's under like red, or like what does the trouble word mean necessarily? I mean,
I think it's like an untranslate.
okay.
So like something that probably hasn't been translated. So it should probably be something in your notes. Let me see if it goes to something.
Is that?
Yeah. See how it is? See how it didn't tran out?
Okay.
Tran, when I say tran, you know, it's not a train, or it's not a trans,
Yeah.
like the via or whatever, okay? Tran is short for translate, okay? So it didn't translate the word. So you see how it's still in steno? That's what it's doing.
And then will it automatically jump to the next one, or?
It may. It all depends on if you have this on MLT, remember? Multiple.
Sorry.
Yeah, remember? Okay? So it may not. So if it doesn't, then all you have to do is press T again. So all you're going to do right there is global, which is what?
Control G.
G. It's already there. You push 1, enter, there. See, so mine isn't on. So now you just push T again, and it'll go to the next one. Well, it already fixed it, but it's showing that it's in red because it was something that you had to fix. Got it?
Okay.
All right.
So is that like a good tool to start editing? Just keep hitting T or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd get all of my untranslates out,
It's a big
you know, or trouble spots,
a lot of it.
you know, before you start editing. It's just going to make it easier. But, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't do it. I just go through and fix it while I'm editing, and I'm going. And I'm trucking along. So, I mean, I can figure it out when I'm there, and I'll edit it and global it or whatever I need to do, delete it, fix it, insert it, whatever I need to do at the moment. So a lot of people find it easier just to go through and make these corrections. This way it's just, you just boom, boom through it, okay? But however you want to do it is fine.
Eclipse offers a large number of scans as well as multi-scan for quick editing of your document. You can scan forward or backward, looking for any of several items, but the most basic trouble spots are untranslates and unselected conflicts. Here's the toolbar icon to scan to trouble spots. It will stop on untranslates, conflicts that have not yet been selected, and blanks that have not yet been filled with information.
You got that? So it can be any one of these three things. A trouble spot,
Okay.
where there's trouble, you know? Trouble is, that's trouble. You haven't globaled it yet. It's not in your dictionary, or you misstroked something, or the trouble of, what did you mean, your, or the contract? Contraction, you are, okay?
That's
Or
hyperkey.
a fill in the blank, okay?
Of course, it's faster to use hyperkey T or speed key Control T, as in trouble. But you may want to target untranslates only, or go just to the next conflict, perhaps an unselected conflict. There are hyperkeys for these purposes, as well as speed keys. Multi-scan automatically repeats your last scan. So if I want to quickly go through my
See? Right there, MLT.
document, correcting untranslates, or resolving conflicts, then multi-scan would be the quickest way to go through my document.
Shift Control M, turns it on and off. Multi, not volti, not bind. Multi. Control Shift M.
Document. If, however, you find that Eclipse loses your place after you create a global or resolve a conflict, check to see if you haven't accidentally turned multi-scan on.
Got it? So it's good and bad, okay? So if you go to something like, say you press E, what does E do?
This form field.
Yeah, enter a form field. And you enter that form field, fix it, then all of a sudden you go down to page 999. And you were on page 4. It might be because you have multi on. How do you take it off? Control-Shift-M, okay? So if you have that on, it's going to take you down to the next one or to the bottom.
Wait, I'm confused.
Mm.
That's to take it off? Control shift?
Control-Shift-M turns it on and turns it off.
Oh, okay, so.
Yeah. Got it?
Let's see how the Find Replace dialog works. There are several ways to open this dialog. You can click on a toolbar icon, or open the Move menu, or use speed key F5 or hyperkey F, as in Find. You can search forward or backwards to find text, paragraph types, print commands, or steno. By default, Eclipse looks for whole words, but you have other options. Perhaps the text you're looking for could be part of another word. It might appear in the middle, at the end, or at the beginning. If you're used to using wildcard indicators, these will be understood by the dialog.
You see what it's doing there? So if you don't really know what it is, it's like, well, it was Belfort. I don't remember. I know it was BEL something or other. Okay. Well, then this is how you do it. Okay? I'm going to rewind it just a bit.
You have other options. Perhaps the text you're looking for. By default, Eclipse looks for whole word.
So it always looks for the whole word. So when you pull this thing up, so how do you find something? F in hyperkeys. Or
Sí. Thought I was
we'll
sure.
just save some time. It's F5.
F5.
Okay? Wow. F5. Do it right now. Just do F5. And it's going to do the same thing as F in as F-I-N in hyperkeys. Okay?
F5, right?
F5, or if you're in hyperkeys and you're not using the arrows because you don't want to take your hands off the keys, then you just press F. Okay? Got it?
Yeah.
But it's always going to look, whenever you press F or F5, it's always going to be looking for the whole word. Okay? You don't have to look for the whole word. You can look for it at the end, at the beginning, or anywhere. Okay? So say it's, well, I know it's Ford, but I don't know if it was Velford, Belford, Melford, but I know it's Ford. At the end, F-O-R-D. All right? Be careful, because if you had a bunch of Fords in there, it's going to bring up every Ford you had. Okay?
Words, but you have other options. Perhaps the text you're looking for could be part of another word. It might appear in the middle, at the end, or at the beginning. If you're used to using wildcard indicators, these will be understood by the dialog. Here are a few additional tips. You can use the question mark to stand for an exact number of letters. So searching for B question mark T would find both bit and bat.
You got it? Write that down. Write that down. Letter, question mark letter. So if you don't know if it was bat, bit, bet, but, any of those, but it's like, you know what, I need to find all of them. Okay, well it's gonna take you to all of them that have B something T. Okay? And you need to have it in the anywhere. Got it?
Again, the question mark stands for an exact number of missing letters. You can also use the pound sign to search for any digits. If you're looking for numbers that have a specific number of digits, use as many pound signs as there are digits in the numbers that you're looking for.
You got that? The pound sign also means numbers. Okay?
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff there.
Was it you just want part of a word, you do asterisk, the word part and then asterisk or whatever?
What's that?
How do you search for the,
Using the asterisks is what he's asking.
The asterisk?
Yeah.
No.
You know how,
I don't know what that was, and it was called wild card, wild
Yeah.
keys. I don't know. I've never used it. I just used it anywhere and just put cause.
okay.
So if I was looking for because, the cause of it, or causation, I don't know if it would do causation. Well, you could by using CAUS. So because, you can just write CAUS, or causation.
So the key is you just have to uncheck whole and put
Anywhere.
anywhere, okay.
We just do find or find and replace? Oh, we did.
Yeah, that's primarily.
We did the find?
Now I'd like to find Ordelia and replace it with Aurelia, perhaps only in answer paragraphs. I could say, yes, replace this instance. No, not this instance. You could let the system replace all instances, or just cancel this dialogue.
So you can do it any of a number of ways. I mean, let's just say, and I had it, God, not even that long ago. And it's not the same example, but I'm just going to use Renee and Renee, where it was a male and a female. So it's 1 E, 2 E's. It was a female name, and it wasn't Renee, but it was something like, God, I can't even remember. Anyway, but it was super similar, super duper. So I'm putting the same one every time because I'm editing for somebody else. I didn't take the job. So I'm doing it, I'm editing for somebody else and doing it. Well, I'm hearing the same thing every time. Well, then I got the paperwork on it, started looking through the paperwork, and it's two different people. Because now the DA is talking about, well, when she was sick and blah, blah, blah. Well, how about when he was sick? Was he taking, what? I thought they were talking about the same kid, and it wasn't. So then I had to go through there and look for the whole thing every time, read the sentence to see what they were talking about. Yeah, yeah, but that's how you would do it, right there. Did y'all get that? On the Aurelia thing? So you can replace it. I'm gonna back it up just a bit. So you can replace it sometimes, you cannot replace it sometimes.
I could say, yes, replace it with Aurelia, perhaps only in answer paragraph.
So you can look at it in paragraphs, print commands, the whole word, you know, whatever, and then pull this thing down and find it, like if it's only in a fixed paragraph, if it's only in an answer paragraph, if it's only in a question paragraph, or if it's in all of them. Let me back it up just a bit, where it shows the
in answer paragraphs.
See, so you can find it in any of these, a parenthetical, speaker paragraph, answer paragraph, any of them, okay? A byline, any of them.
I could say, yes, replace this instance. No, not this instance. I could let the system replace.
You can do it where it's like, you know what, I don't want to have to go through all of them and decipher, because I know that Renee, I thought was a guy, so I'm writing Renee with an E. Well, it was a girl. And it's with 2 E's. And I know that they're talking about Renee, and it's only a girl, okay? So I want to replace it in the whole thing. I don't want to have to go through the whole thing. So all you have to do is press all. So every time Renee is in there, it's going to change it to the double E, okay?
All instances, or just cancel this dialog. A few additional tips for using the Find Replace function within Total Eclipse. Hyperkey F opens the dialog, but hyperkey capital F opens the same dialog, ready to perform a reverse direction search. Once you've searched for something, you don't have to reopen the dialog just to locate the next or previous occurrence.
You remember what I told you? Control L. So all you have to do is do F or F5, and you want to find Renee. Okay, well, I found it, I replaced it, whatever. I didn't go through that whole thing of doing all, just this one, whatever. Oh, you know what, I need to find the next one. Well, you don't have to do find again. You don't have to do F5 again. All you do is Control L, and it'll go to the next one. Control L will go to the next one. Control L will go to the next one. Remember we did that? I had y'all do it with like the. And you can do it on here. Do it on your in your lesson. Find a the, or a word that you're going to find all the time. Find it, which is what? F.
Or F5.
Huh?
F or F5.
Or F5. And type in the. You don't even have to be on the. Just do F or F5. Type in the, and it's going to go to the. And then you Control L. See how it goes to the next the? Do Control L again. To the next the, to the next the. So if you want to find something, that's another way of doing it.
Yeah, it's doing it.
Yeah.
Use speed key Control L to go forward, looking for the next occurrence, and Shift Control L to shift directions, going backwards to locate the previous occurrence.
So if you want to go backwards, it's Shift Control L. If you want to go forward, it's just Control L. Or if you just want to find it and you want to go to the top of the document, how do you do that? Alt G 1 or Control Page Up, remember? Take you to the top of the document, then you do the find from there, and then you know that it's going to cover all of the pages, okay?
You can also control the behavior of the cursor. By default, Eclipse marks the entire text that has been found. But you can also say that you want the cursor positioned to the left of the text that is found, or that you would prefer to have the cursor positioned to the right.
You see the reason for that? So say it's Cardalia, and you thought it was Ardalia. Well, you know what? You want the cursor position to the left so that you can automatically fix it right here.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, maybe it was Ardalian, okay? You want the cursor to the right so that you can already be there. It's just helping you find shortcuts to get to where you need to do your work, okay? And if not, then just get on the Word, like my friendly little friend over here, and just arrow over. Arrow over for everything, okay? No, no. But if you want to,
When text is found.
got it? No, maybe not.
Remember that you can customize your Total Eclipse dialogues. So perhaps you'll want to show less buttons and move the dialogue to your favorite spot and zoom in on it and pull on its edge to make it larger and then anchor it in your favorite spot.
So if these little things, they're good, it's cool, whatever, okay? kind of can come in handy, because you know what? Say you pull up the find thing and every time it comes up over here. Oh, God, man. It's just, now you got to right or left click, drag it up here so that you can see it in the middle of the page. You know what? Move it up there, press the anchor. Now it's going to come up there every time.
That's cool.
Once you anchor it, okay? You can make it bigger, you can make it smaller, so you can customize it to whatever you want, okay?
It's a very versatile function and a very versatile dialogue, so take advantage of it.
Got it?
Got it.
Just open it.
Remind me next week. I'm gonna put a note for myself, but remind me next week that we need to go on the one more numbers on Monday. Okay? One more numbers on Monday. It's numbers is too complex to do real quick. So it's something we're probably gonna have to spend a little bit of time on, and I don't wanna do half of it now.
Maybe that'll be good because we'll be doing numbers this
Yeah.
rest of the
Yeah.
week.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so that's good.
You can stand. Look at mine. You can stand. Cool. Look at mine.
Okay. Phonetics.
A few adjustments to your phonetics table can really help Total Eclipse tune in to your writing style. It will then do a better job of translating steno that's not yet defined in your dictionary, and it will also offer better suggestions for global magic. In the Translate section of your Eclipse user settings, you'll see the option to take advantage of phonetic untranslates, and you'll also see that you can choose between basic and intelligent phonetics. For even better translation, you'll want to put a check in the box next to Translation Magic, which is the subject of a separate visualizer presentation. Here the same steno was written 3 times. The first time with phonetic untranslates turned off. The second time using basic phonetics. And the third time using intelligent phonetics, which takes advantage of the spelling dictionary.
You see what it does for you? So if you want these things to really work for you, if you want the auto intelligence to really work for you, then you need to have these things on. Okay? Were you even awake through that?
Yeah.
Okay. What did it say? I got it. Never mind. I'm going to rewind it just a bit. Pay attention, guys.
Translates. And you'll also see that will also offer better suggestions for global magic. In the Translate section of your Eclipse user settings, you'll see the option to...
So user settings, which is what? Alt U. Translate, phonetic untranslates, and translation magic. Okay?
take advantage of phonetic untranslates. You'll also see that
and intelligent, which is your artificial intelligence. If not, if you just want to do it or whatever, you can always turn off your artificial intelligence right there. Just put basic. And it's going to leave it basic. That's for those of you that use the arrows and stuff like that, all right?
You can choose between basic and intelligent phonetics. For even better translation, you'll want to put a check in the box next to Translation Magic, which is the subject of a separate visualizer presentation. Here, the same steno was written 3 times.
And you see how it does it? When it keeps it basic, it's going to keep it basic, okay? When it goes to
Phonetic and translation.
intelligence, and then the auto intelligent, you see.
So right now mine are checked off. Should I put them on,
I would.
right?
I would.
Translation magic.
Have y'all checked them? Yours on?
Mine are on.
Okay. I'd put them on. And see if you like what it does. If you don't, then you can always go back. I put the auto intelligence on because it's really probably going to help you a lot.
Right. That intelligent one, right underneath, there's one that's called the tuck punctuation inside quotes. On
Tuck?
there, it's checked off, but it's
Tuck
called
punctuation.
tuck. Yeah.
It doesn't show up the same as on there. So I don't know where the magic thing is.
Yeah, it's in there. I just saw it. It's checked off.
Settings, you'll
But
see the
you
option
see right
to
under
take
phonetic
advantage.
type,
Oh, this is
tuck
Tuck
punctuation.
punctuation.
Yeah.
Let's check. Tuck punctuation.
It's gonna open.
I think that's what it does, is it automatically knows what to do. So like if you're there at the end, you put the question mark, it puts a question mark, space, space, cap next.
Yeah. Oh, well,
And if it's a
mine already does
period and you're at the beginning, so it may be checked, and I think that's what it's doing
Okay.
on the tuck punctuation.
But the translation magic, I don't have that one. Oh yeah, I do. It's not the
It's
same.
right in this area, Josh.
that. Yes, you have it.
Do it quick. I don't know that it's different.
Just arrow over.
It is a little different.
Yeah, and it may be. Just kind of look at it, and it may be different than the setup here, okay? And if it is, just kind of look, make sure that it's on there, okay?
Of phonetic untranslates. And you'll also see that you can choose between basic and intelligent phonetics. For even better translation, you'll want to put a check in the box next to Translation Magic, which is the subject of a separate visualizer presentation. Here, the same steno was written 3 times. The first time with phonetic untranslates turned off. The second time using basic phonetics. And the third time.
So completely off, basic, intelligent. You see the difference? Yeah, so I'd turn it on if I were you, but you do what you want.
Yeah, I'm turning it off.
I'm using intelligent phonetics, which takes advantage of the spelling dictionary. I'll go to the programming section of my Eclipse user settings to see what's contained in the phonetics table. Here's a typical phonetics table that's created for you automatically when you install Eclipse. Each of the lines in the table follows the format steno equals text. I'll choose a simple line and use the modify button to see what it means. When Eclipse sees the steno SP, it understands it's part of a word spelled with SP. Now here's a different line that has a bit more to it. When Eclipse sees the steno TKPW, it basically expects this steno is used to spell a word that has G in it. But it also considers the spelling GH as it's figuring out what your steno means. Now for a line that has quite a bit more to it.
You see what they're talking about? So it could be gear or ghost. You see how it could be the GH? So that's where the phonetics table comes in.
When Eclipse sees the steno TPH, it first considers the spellings N and IN, but it also tries out these additional spellings. And of course it uses the spelling dictionary to avoid creating nonsense suggestions.
Oh, cool.
Now,
You know how to do it, don't mess with it too much, okay? It's probably already set up to do what it needs to do. But if it's not doing something and you say you did kneel down, and it's not doing it, then you need to come to here, okay? But make sure that you're not conflicting with something else, okay? That it's not conflicting with something else and you need to come in here and change it in your phonetics table.
Let's look at the vowel keys. When Eclipse sees the steno EU, it considers these basic spellings first, then these additional possibilities. In this line, the capital E is simply a way of indicating the silent E at the end of the word. For instance, bite or passive. In other words, I is the vowel sound, but there's a silent E at the end of the word. You can add to the phonetics table. However, don't delete a whole line. Instead, modify it if it does not agree with your steno theory. So if you would never write steno STK to mean these spellings, you should change it to something very basic that it does mean for you.
You get it? So it's probably something you're going to use one way or another. Like I don't use the SD for DIS, but I do it for accident. SD, ENT. There you go. SD. Okay?
Hopefully this will help you understand how with a bit of tweaking and perhaps some guidance from the technical support staff, you can obtain the best possible results from your Eclipse translation and ever more intelligent suggestions from Global Magic.
Got it? Okay. I think that's all we're going to do today. Guys, we're pretty close to the end. We're pretty close. We've got numbers, but one thing that we are going to spend some time on is numbers and speakers. We're probably going to spend a whole class probably on both of those. Speakers is really important, okay? So you're going to need to, I know I already told you, bring your machines, blah, 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 bring them. Because we're going to start using them now. Huh? Okay. Do y'all have any questions about anything else?
Are you gonna give us like a pre-exam study?
Yes. I mean, you know, probably about the last 2 or 3 classes, that's all we're going to do. Is where I'm going to be showing you. And I'll give you a preview of what the final exam is going to be. So you can start hyperventilating now or do whatever you need to do, okay? Guys, there's gonna be 6 people here. 6 different people speaking. And we're gonna be taking them down. It's not for speed, it's not for content, but what it's gonna be for is speakers, taking down what they're saying. They're not gonna be going fast, so it's not at any certain speed. They're not gonna be going fast. And it's going to make more sense once we get there, okay? Where you have the court is usually me, there's a witness, and then there's 4 attorneys. There's going to be 6 of us here, okay? There's not going to be 6 of us here the couple of weeks leading up to the final. But I'm going to have a thing here that says Attorney 1, Attorney 2, Attorney 3, Attorney 4, witness, and the court. And I'm going to be pointing to it. And you're going to have to hit that speaker, and I'm going to give you time, so don't freak out. We're not sitting here for 30 minutes so you can figure out what the court is or whatever. You hit the speaker, ready to go, and I'm going to say some stuff, and then I'm going to point to another speaker. You're going to hit that speaker, start saying what I'm saying, and then we're going to be putting in block files. We're going to be putting in direct examination, cross-examination, redirect, recross, all of this stuff, okay? So it's getting ready to get really intense. So for those of you that aren't coming to class, Lord Jesus, I hope you have a really good reason for missing. And I'm sure that you do. But if you're going to start not missing class, now is the time. It better be super important that you're missing class now, okay? And if you can make it, make it. If not, Guys, if I don't hear from you, there's zero excuses on exam day. Zero. Okay? I don't hear from you, I just assume that you're getting it, and it is what it is. All right? If you keep me abreast of what's going on, you let me know what's happening, sir, I'm not getting this, we can figure it out. You come up to test day, it is what it is. Okay?
All right.
Any questions? Okay, we'll see y'all Monday.